Hello there, welcome back to Celtic World Order podcast. As always, I'm Steve O'Matt, and it's a pleasure to welcome you back here at the channel once again for the second time today for a brand new video. And this one is, of course, as you'll see there, is breaking transfer news. So quite frankly, these kind of things just can't wait. Fortunately, I was up when I started getting the messages. The phone was going off the hook, and I thought, let's do it. Let's talk about this right now, because it is something that, if Celtic see it through, it is definitely one to get excited about. It's the kind of quality, it's the standard of player that we've been crying out for. There's also an update on something we spoke about earlier, and of course, finally, we've actually got a signed player. We have went out and we've signed a player of quality and added them to the squad. So without further ado, as we always say, let's get down to business. So the first one, we spoke about it earlier on. We knew it was in the post, but finally Celtic have done it. They've done the thing. We've got the picture. I'm pointing at the badge. He's wearing the top. He's in the dressing room. That is, of course, Mikuel Balakwisha. He was unveiled today. As we say, when we finished that video, we knew something was probably going to happen. That's just such as the nature of these things. But he's finally in at Celtic. Now, he signed on a 5-year deal from Antwerp, and it says, and this is always the bit that makes me laugh, subject to international clearance. Whatever the hell that means, subject to international clearance. But he's going to get, he's part of Celtic. It is what it is. It's just one of those sort of terms that get thrown about that really mean nothing. I mean, when have you ever heard of someone signing and then not getting cleared, not getting it over the line? It just, I've never ever heard it happening. Maybe you have, but I've certainly haven't. But Balakwisha is in the building. 5-year deal, and you can't say fairer than that. Well, you could have said, as we did before, why wasn't he signed before the Champions League qualifier? If it was always going to happen, then you should have just got him in the door. But they didn't. They held off. It is what it is. But now he's in the building. We finally have another additional winger of quality, of the standard that we want. The big question is, will he be cleared so that he can either take to the pitch straight away against Rangers at Ibrox on Sunday, or at least at best make the bench and give us quality options? And with regards to the other story that we're going to be talking about, I certainly hope that that's going to be the case, because there could be movement out on the attacking front for Celtic. And this, again, is something that we spoke about earlier on in our earlier video. Of course, we're talking about big Adam Idah. Now, the story, as we say, has first come out kind of unsort of verified in terms of the sort of stature and the background of it. It came here, it was the EFL's own thing, reporting that Swansea were interested. But very, very quickly after we done that video this morning, that started to snowball. And of course, it started to really gain traction within the last hour to hour and a half tonight. And it's now saying all pretty much but a done deal. Swansea City are closing in on Adam Idah. A deal in the region of $7 million is nearing an agreement, and this is the important bit with regards to Sunday. They expect him to head to Swansea, down to Wales, and do a medical within the next 48 hours. Now, of course, what is the ramifications of that for Celtic? Well, it's quite simple, isn't it? If he's going to be heading down either first thing on the Friday or even on the Saturday, chances are he's not going to be in that squad for Celtic, and he's certainly not going to be on that pitch for us at Ibrox. Now, again, we've spoke about Adam Idah. He's had a horror show this season, so many people say it isn't quite a miss, but in the same way that we said about getting other people in the door, regardless of what it is, he's still an option that you could turn to, and you would probably rather have him there if you could than not have him at all. And that's why we need to move, we need to be agile, we need to be quick. And by the looks of it, maybe we might just do that. And it would be quality far beyond that of Adam Idah. And again, if we move quick, if this is an iron in the fire that we're ready to hit that big button on, then we need to do it. But Adam Idah, that medical, that's going to have to take priority. He cannot, under any circumstances, be risked on that pitch. If he got an injury, it all falls apart. And let's be honest, I think if we could get that kind of money back for Adam Idah, you'd take that. who we all know signed £9 million, £8.5, £9 million. There will be add-ons and going up, but the chances are Celtic probably didn't put all that money at the front end to Norwich City. It's the nature of these deals these days. They'll give a heavy wage up front and then there'll be the wee add-ons, or it'll be in instalments. But the plain fact is, if we can get £7 million, who knows what the rest of the deal might be? There might be add-ons to top that up. That's just saying it's in around £7 million at this time. Then you can't say fairer than that. I've said it over and over and over and over. I've championed it. Yes, you look at his minutes to game time and goals record, and it looks great on paper. But these things here in your head, your eyes don't deceive you, and it's quite clear that this Celtic jersey, it's a bit heavy on the shoulders of Adam Idah, and he's not been able to kick on. We'll say again, when he was here on loan, he all but earned that right to get that contract. You know, it brought us back from the brink. Vital goals as we dragged ourselves back in the title race, and of course, single-handedly delivered us the Scottish Cup with a goal at Hampden versus Rangers. The guy earned his stripes. He earned the right for that transfer. And again, Brendan Rodgers, I've criticised him. Other people have criticised him. Say, was that a good decision? Well, based on that small sample size, he saw what he liked and Adam Idah. And yes, as I just said there, he gave him results. So he was perfectly within his rights to say, this guy is the player that I want, go and get me him. As we well know, the negotiating styles of Celtic, we ended up paying over the odds, but it is what it is. And I said as well on here that I would be confident that we would recoup pretty much most of that fee that we paid for him further down the line, regardless of his on-off hot cold form. Why? Because going to a team like Swansea, going to Championship, going to a lower level Premier League team, the expectancies on your strikers are nowhere near what they are at Celtic. Go and have a look through the average goal scoring record in most number nines for Championship sides. Now, you'll always get one or two that are hot and they score quite a fair bit, but inevitably they then move on. The guys that are playing week in, week out, season after season, they can get away with scoring 6 goals, 7 goals in a season, but still retaining their place. And Adam Idah, I think the Championship is, quite frankly, his level. That's no disrespect to the guy, but I think he'll be far more settled with less expectancy on him. He's got a wee bit of experience in that kind of level of football, and I think it will be a good fit for him, and I wish him all the best if he moves on. But as I'm saying, I want him moved on as quickly as possible. And why? Because something quite exciting has come out. And this, quite frankly, without being hyperbole, this would be massive. We've sat here and spoke about bona fide quality, someone you can hang your hat on, someone with experience, with the goals, with the appearances. And this man here is the person we are about to talk about. It is Kasper Dolberg. He's currently at Anderlecht, but what a CV he's got. He originally started out at Celtic in his home town, his home club. He's been at Hoffenheim, Ajax, Nice, Sevilla, Anderlecht. Vast experience, an international, a bona fide quality player, 6'2", right-footed striker, big, powerful Danish forward. So, as we always do with these guys, don't take my word for it. Let's look at it for your very own self. Let's bring up his details here. Let's go to our trusted friend, Transfer Market. Everybody's friend, isn't it? And we'll get those stats up and have a look at it. So, as you can see here, Kasper Dolberg, there we are. He's a winner. He's done things. He's won pretty much most countries that he's played in. There you can see international, 55 full-blown Denmark caps, 12 goals for them, centre forward, 27 years of age. He's ticking all the boxes. He's got the experience. He's got the medals. He's got the international caps, all seasons. There we are. Look at the European experience. We have Europa League. We have Europa League proper, the qualifiers, Spain, France, Champions League. It just gets better and better and better. And have a look. There's the key facts there. Let's bring it up. Full detailed stats. Give you everything that you need to know just for good measure. There we see it. 347 senior appearances. 22,499 minutes, 123 goals in 32 assists. It really doesn't get any better than that. And I would encourage Celtic to go and get this guy ASAP. If this is somebody that we are wanting, please, please go and do it. Anthony Joseph, talking about Idah going, nobody will be thinking about Adam Idah if we get this man in here. And it's saying, according to Sky, all the outlets are breaking it. Celtic have turned their attention, and this guy, Kasper Dolberg, is Celtic's number one priority striking target. The fee, well, he's in contract until 2027. So he has 2 years. And as you'd imagine, of that standard, with the international caps, with the goals, with the experience, he's going to cost a pretty penny. But the good news is, a word on the street is it's going to be in and around £8 million. Now, Adam Idah at 9 million, Dolberg at 8 million. Of course, they may well know that if we sell Adam Idah, that might go up. But hey, see if it goes up 10, 11, 12. I don't think anybody is sitting there and looking at those stats, looking at that guy and saying he is a punt, that he's a shot in the dark, that he's no worth it. Again, I'll say it, Adam Idah, untested, £9 million. So if you're getting 8 anywhere in the upwards, get it, do it, make it happen right now. Take the Adam Idah money, bite their hand off for it, run and pump it straight back in to getting Kasper Dolberg over the line, because that is a guy that would strike fear into defences here. Now, I don't want to go too far, but it's the kind of quality and experience that has been long missing since the likes of Sutton, Hartson, Larsson in terms of striker. He's got the mileage. That's what we've been championing on his channel. 27, about to turn 28. He's played in some top leagues and he's scored everywhere that he has went. That's the kind of player that Celtic need to be doing. And no disrespect to our league, but the Scottish Premier League, the Scottish Premiership, it should be an absolute cakewalk for him. And what did we say in the last video? Where we like it or not, we're in the Europa League. But if you've got a guy like that leading your forward line in the Europa League, and he gets the appropriate service for guys like Balakwisha and anybody else that we might bring in, then hey, yeah, you're starting to feel a lot better, aren't you? We've said in times over, we didn't replace Kyogo, we didn't replace Giakoumakis. Well, do you know what? Better than both. Better than both. Go and get him, Celtic. Make it happen. Will it happen? Fingers crossed, touching the wood. Everything's crossed, but that one is definitely one that would be huge. We want to talk about a statement. That would be a statement. Now, obviously, this board went out after the event, didn't they? And they got on Balakwisha and they put it out, made a big deal of it. And you can understand that as grateful as we are to see them in there, people are saying it's too little too late. And you'll need to do a lot more to sort of atone for your failings of this transfer window to date. I can tell you right now, going out and getting Kasper Dolberg and proper dropping money on him, well, it wouldn't rectify their faults, far from it. But in terms of actually way of apology, as daft as that sounds, why, it would buy them maybe a wee smidgen, a wee tiny bit of credibility. But they can't stop there. They need to add on top of it and on top of it. And Celtic need to get in a couple more bodies. But Dolberg, for me, you can tell by the way that I'm speaking here, get him in now. My only other concern, though, would be the rumours about Maeda. But that, we'll wait on that one. Nothing's come out. We'll wait and we'll see. But get Adam Idah gone. Happy with Dolberg. Absolutely. Give us some of that. Now, just to keep up to date on the last ones that we spoke about, because there's been developments and stuff that we spoke about earlier on. Calvin Stengs, it's in the bin. It's not happening. He has agreed a deal on loan to go to Syria, go to Pisa. Done. We move on. We move on to new targets. Another name that kept popping up when we're looking at against strikers was, of course, Jamie Vardy. But it looks as if that one isn't going to happen, and that might be a good thing. It might be a bad thing. If we were going to get Dolberg, Angie says to me, and by the way, you'll get Vardy as well. Mental. That'd be brilliant. But he looks as if he wants to go out as well, and it seems that he's all but set his heart on going to Cremonese. So we move on. We find other targets. And as I say, Dolberg, that one just came out of nowhere. But what was interesting about the reports was it said that Celtic had made inquiries about him within the last week to 2 weeks. I quite like the fact that we hadn't actually heard about that, because we're sitting here, as we do, we're reactionary and we criticise and we call out. Maybe, just maybe, aside from the Balakwisha saga, there has been irons in the fire. Now, I don't know how quickly the Swansea thing and Idah thing came to light, but if they've been looking at him, if they've been looking at Dolberg and sounding out over a week or two ago, then it makes you think that they kind of know a lot more than they're letting on, and that things maybe were boiling away in the background, and that's why they're having to be agile, that's why they're having to move. But I like the fact that we've not actually heard about that until the late hours of last night, so I'm all over that one, and that'll be good. So that's it. That's our fill. What do you think of that? Let us know in the comments below. Is that a signing that would, get you excited? How do you feel about Adam Idah going to Swansea? Are you happy with the fee? What else does Celtic need? Hit us up down below, but more importantly, before you go, hit the subscribe button. Costs you absolutely nothing. You will continue to get content for absolutely nothing, for free. That's what we do here at Celtic World Order, just to help us grow this community. So let's see how this one progresses. Of course, if anything moves, we'll be back on and we'll tell you what you need to know. So until the next time, take care of yourself and hail, hail.